There were 3 colors of vinyl on this record, and the least produced one was this beauty right here. What's interesting about working with vinyl and Relapse Records is Drew Juergens specifically.
Yeah.
This guy, he loves this stuff. He absolutely he sends you the most detailed layouts, and he loves to tell stories with the colors of vinyl. So this was the first one he went, and it's just like the black and then the colors that he chose, and like I know that he was just stressing out over getting the gold.
The gold right, yeah.
The gold right, because it had to match, kind of like the gold that we're doing, and then we were concerned that the gold because this can't be matte, it has to be kind of gloss. This is the second color, and this one's actually my favorite of all 3. This is, they call this a tri-merge. This is actually one that I told Drew I want. This is ripped off lock, stock, and barrel from a Chat Pile record that I got. They had some kind of limited record, but they did white black, but they did like an orange. It's more messy and it's more like kind of visceral.
And I love the variations too, because I've seen a couple of these that friends have had, and just how some of the spill happens like on these is absolutely wild. Like, I think that's so cool.
This is the standard one. I believe it was 1800.
1800 of that.
Yeah, of this. And this was just kind of a no-brainer. Like, it's got to be just like the straight gold.
Yeah.
And it's not metallic. It's just kind of like that kind of like dirty color.
Yeah. You could have just done a black, but it would have buried this on the artwork. This has this cool bronze, almost greenish brown type of thing, but it like still matches like everything we've done by a lot, and it's so cool.
So this is the limited edition hand silk screened album cover exclusively for our album release. 50 that are hand numbered 1 through 50, and then 8 that have 2 X's for the crew and people who contributed to the record. I had this idea. I definitely knew that I wanted to use Hazel's Nest because we had put it on the shirt, and I was like, this is the coolest merch I've ever done ever. Like, this is a classic. But I wanted it to be a little bit much different than what we did on the album. Yeah. So hence this. We got the big logo, like kind of like the classic, kind of like old school, like when you're flipping through records and you see the logo of the band you want, and you're like, yes, I kind of wanted to create something like that. And I wanted to do the hand numbering up front to where if these, when these things inevitably make it to record stores, for a fact, that this is, there's just no hiding that this is like something limited. This is the full album art. One of the things that I knew I wanted to do was fill this other space. What I had done is I had asked my son Max, who does these really cool skull drawings.
So we have some broken skulls and stuff like that, and then we also have this hellhound. And my dad came in my room about 2 weeks before the album dropped, and he was like, yo, I want you to do art for this special edition album cover. And I was just like, I was super excited. The thing I draw the most is skulls and stuff like that. I mean, I don't know why. It's just I'm good at drawing them, so I draw them. I did the Hellhound because one of my favorite lyrics on Dead Ringer, why does God only whisper when the hounds of hell, they scream all night? I don't know why, but that lyric just has been ingrained in my brain. So, and also hellhounds are cool. So, I just really wanted to draw one, and I thought it turned out pretty dope. But one of my favorite things about this is that, so you got the bird's nest right here, and you got this broken skull like laying outside the nest. So I was just looking at it one night, and I was just like thinking about just some of the lyrics and all that stuff, rare bird and all that stuff. So I just thought this is like resembles family to me, I guess, because it's like, it's a bird's nest, and you're gonna have like baby birds in there and all that stuff like that. All the bad stuff is like, don't mess with the family and like all that stuff. So I don't know if that was intentional, but that's how I think about it, I think that was pretty cool.
It's a special record. It's a special thing for a special record that happened at a very special show. And to have, Hazel and Max sign it, and the guys, it kind of ties 2 years of work up into like one specific special piece.
One bow.